everybody, welcome back to The Shed. I'm Troy, this is Dave, and today the topic is the top 3 sad songs. Now these are rock songs, they're not country songs, because there is one song that is definitely the saddest song of all time. It is
He stopped loving her today.
That song will make you cry.
Yeah.
That's not on our list because we're talking about rock sad songs.
Let's talk about rock songs.
We're talking about the rock sad songs. So our songs about heartbreak. So I'll let you go first, Dave. What's your number 3?
Well, my number 3 is by one of the favorite bands of all time for me is Dire Straits, and the song is Romeo and Juliet. It came out on the album Making Movies. Mark Knopfler wrote this song. Basically, it's a Shakespearean kind of thing. Mark Knopfler is one of my favorite guitarists, songwriters, everything. It's such a beautiful song. He plays it on a National steel guitar. He's basically playing underneath a street light, and he's, serenading this gal, and they fall in love, or at least he does. As the song goes on, she falls out of love with him. She falls for change of silver. She falls for change of gold. She falls for pretty strangers and the promises they hold.
You promised me everything. Yeah, you promised me thick and thin.
She's a gold digger.
You could say that. He fell head over heels, got crushed, as women have been known to do, to our fragile souls. God, who hasn't been crushed before, right? Not Troy, because he's such a stud. But it's happened to me.
I thought I was the Fonz.
You are the Fonz. But it's happened to me, and in the end, the protagonist, or Mark Knopfler's character, has to resort going back to the street light.
He finds his street light. He steps out of the shade. He says something like,
And it's a sad song, and it's a beautiful song, and I love Dire Straits. I love Mark Knopfler, and I think he's just a king.
He's a king, but not in this song.
No,
He was a jester.
He's a jester. He was.
So nobody dies? Nobody dies in this song?
No one dies, but he, in the end, has to resort to his old ways.
Back on the streets, man.
Back on the streets.
Yeah. Well, my number 3 is a song that I guess it's a sad song, but musically it's not a sad song. It has heartbreak in the title, and that's probably pretty much it, but it's Def Leppard, Bringing on the Heartbreak.
Bringing on the heartbreak. I really am not surprised, because Troy's one of those guys that likes that
I love the 80s.
hairy kind of rock and roll.
I like some of it. Def Leppard's still a band that I can still listen to from the 80s. There's not that many that I will still listen to, but Def Leppard is one.
They wrote so many, hooky songs.
Oh yeah. The production on it's great. I think Mutt Lange produced that.
Yeah, Mutt Lange
had
did
those
that.
big drums. The harmonies are great. It was off the album. It was their first album, High and Dry. No, their first album was On Through the Night. This was their second album, called High and Dry. And what's cool, I used to live on the corner of High and Dry Street in San Saba. I always thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, that's my number 3. It's a cool song. I love that whole album. It's really good. Everything up until the 90s when they really started sucking. But yeah, Def Leppard, Bringing On the Heartbreak is my number 3.
Yeah,
So
Pyromania was good too.
Oh yeah, Pyromania was awesome. That's probably their best album.
Yeah.
The production on that is like So freaking good.
Is that Mutt too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he
You know,
did.
Mutt did Back in Black.
The way he produced albums back in the day were just, man, they sound so good. They're
And Shania
so,
Twain.
Yeah, well, that's when he started sucking. He married her, so he had, he had to do her stuff, I guess.
Yeah, didn't have a choice.
That's when country started leaning more towards the rock sound.
Yeah.
Especially with the drums. They sort of had
Yeah.
that big 80s drums.
Yeah.
The big 80s drums died in the 80s, but was resurrected in the 90s with the whole country, pop country stuff. So
Sure.
Anyway, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is the Beatles, Eleanor Rigby.
Look at all the lonely people.
It's off the Revolver album. You know, it's such a sad song, man. I mean,
yeah.
it's
About lonely people.
about all the lonely people.
Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where a wedding has been.
Father Mackenzie, who's darning his socks, and then, you know, Eleanor dies, and no one shows up at the funeral.
Father Mackenzie wiping the dirt from his hands as he walks from the grave.
It's just, there's nothing redeeming or happy about that song.
You know what? At least they had a funeral. These days, people don't even have funerals anymore. Seems
Well, that's true.
like. Yeah. That's sad.
There's nothing optimistic about that song. It's all about
I think the only
Father
thing.
Mackenzie and Eleanor Rigby, you know, both like without anyone that cares about them.
Yeah, no family, no friends.
No family,
Yeah.
no friends.
I think the only thing optimistic about it is the melody and the music. That would pretty
Yeah.
much be it. Dun, 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 dun. If you think it's do 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 do
That
do
she
do do.
keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for?
Like if you took that melody by itself, it sounds
Yeah.
somewhat poppy,
Yeah,
but you add those lyrics to it,
yeah.
it takes a whole different direction.
Such a depressing song. But I love that song, and it's really actually one of my favorite Beatles songs. It's a beautiful song that Paul wrote. And what do you want to say about it outside of that?
My number 2 is, I think this song came out in the late 70s. I'm not sure. I used to listen to this album quite a bit, but I only think I listened to like 2 or 3 songs off of it. But it's Nazareth, Love Hurts.
Love hurts, love scars.
You know, I don't know much history of the band Nazareth. I do remember the song.
We don't know any history about that song either.
I don't know anything about that song.
You know who
except-
wrote that
Who
song?
wrote that song?
The Everly Brothers.
Really? I didn't even know that.
It's an Everly Brothers song.
Love hurts, love scars, love wounds.
I learn something new every episode.
Stick around with me, pal. I'll teach you all kinds of shit.
That guy had a unique voice.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
But
Well,
I really loved
I'd have to say that
Hair of
the,
the Dog. Hair of the Dog was
Hair of the Dog
Oh
album.
man.
Now you're messing with.
A son of a-
Yeah, it was a great album.
I came across a concert of Nazareth, probably, I don't even know where I found it. This was kind of before YouTube, so it was on something on TV or Netflix. I don't even know. But it was the Nazareth from a concert like in the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching it, and I'm like, I don't know this song, and I kind of fast forward. I don't know. They didn't play Hair of the Dog or Love Hurts. Do that whole freaking concert. It's an hour-and-a-half concert. And they never played either one of those songs. I was like, that's like the Beastie Boys. You know, the Beastie Boys, the later years, they never played any of the stuff off of, what was that album that Rick Rubin produced that put him over the air, you know,
Yeah.
that made him famous. You gotta fight for your
your
right
right.
to party. Did you know the Beastie Boys never played that song live in at least the last 20 years, up until one of the
Go
guys,
figure.
that was their hit, man. Why would you not play your hits?
Wow.
Anyway,
They were.
did I say my number 2? It was
yeah.
Love Hurts by Nazareth, which
Yeah.
was an Everly Brothers song. I don't know if you knew that or not. Dave told me. I'll have to go back and listen
I'm
to
here to.
Yeah, set me straight. I'll have to go back and listen to that because I had no idea. Does it sound
Oh,
like
yeah.
that at all?
Yeah.
Well, what's your number 1, Dave?
It's a sad song. It's Eric Clapton, Tears in Heaven.
That is a sad song. Yeah.
Yeah, it was recorded originally for a movie called Rush, the Rush soundtrack.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It's really a story that Eric wrote after his son, Connor. He had a 4-year-old son with a baby mama, basically. He wasn't married to her. And they were in New York City, and for some reason, she had left the window open, and he fell out of like I don't know, 57th floor.
God.
And died.
That's horrible.
And
Yeah.
Eric was actually in Manhattan at the time, and I remember hearing a story about how he ran over there, and it's just so tragic. Of course, it was written, like I said, for that, but what really became huge is when Eric did the Unplugged album on MTV. It was one of the earlier Unplugged albums.
If I saw you in heaven.
That version of the song from Unplugged became a #1 hit. I think it was Eric's biggest hit of all
Yeah,
time.
probably was. Yeah, yeah, you won. I mean, yeah, my #1 cannot compete with that, especially with the story. I mean,
Yeah, well,
that's heartbreaking. for
Give me
sure.
your #1.
My #1 is, like I said, it's not going to compete with yours now. It's Led Zeppelin, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You.
Yeah.
You know I'm gonna leave you. Babe, 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 baby.
I'm gonna leave you.
Goddamn, got little fucking Robert Plant Jr. over here.
I love Led Zeppelin. I hadn't really heard that song in a while. I probably heard it on the radio here and there, but I listened to it on the way over here, man. It's such a good song. It's such a great build-up. I mean, it's up there with Stairway to Heaven.
You
Really?
know, I was gonna almost pick. Goddamn, what is it? It's off of.
When these lights hit your face,
I know.
it just erases your
Sucks
brain.
your brain
Sucks your
out.
brain right out. Well, that song, it's a sad song, but I mean, if you listen to the song, and I don't know the story or the history of the song exactly, but you know, when I listen to it, I take away that, babe, I've got to leave you, because he has to go on tour with the band. He's got to leave his woman behind because he's got to ramble on.
I ain't joking, woman, I've got to ramble.
He's got to do what he's got to do. He's got to go out on the road, make some more money for her pocket, and so it's not a, you know, if you think about it, it's not a breakup song, or it's not a song about somebody, you know, dying or something.
No.
But I just love the song in general, and I love Led Zeppelin.
I saw him, man.
In college.
When I was 15.
If you were in college at 15, you're like Doogie Howser.
Yeah, I wish I was in college at 15, but I was just smoking weed. No, I'm not going to talk about that. But I was living life as a 15-year-old, and
Wishing you were in college.
yeah, well, no,
Yeah.
not really, because Led Zeppelin at 15, it was enough for me, man. It blew my mind.
God, I can imagine. Oh, what a... Yeah, that I would have loved to have seen Led Zeppelin back in the day, but I didn't. I wasn't born yet, or I was born, but I was a little kid. Anyway, hey, thanks for watching. Let us know what your top 3 sad songs are of all time. Leave a comment below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff, and we will see you next time.
Later.